on Twitter. I'm scrolling while I'm eating lunch, and I see the Kelce thing. I immediately sent it to Ken, sent it to some other people as well. And as a result, like you and I are both like, it really did feel like we are back now, because it was the mad scramble to see who's got this open, like who has not pulled this game off the board yet.
What's the cheapest
Where
7?
Can I bet? Yep. Is there a 7? What's the cheapest 7? Where are the 6.5s that I can bet before this gets pulled? Can I get money down on the under at 54.5 before this gets pulled? Man, like, it felt really good. And like, I don't know if those bets are going to win. That's not even what it's about. It's more just like that rush of news has come out. Can we catch the sports books asleep at the wheel? I think you and I were able to do that. Now, again, it doesn't mean that the bets are going to win, and we'll have a new conversation now about what like the landscape is now that we think Travis Kelce is not going to play. But man, like for that moment, we back, man. That was awesome. And I hope our listeners and viewers, I hope you had a similar experience. Obviously, this happening in real time over the course of the last 60 minutes or so.
Yeah, and there's always going to be 2 different betting conversations on the show. It's like one thing that I think we do a good job of emphasizing. I try to emphasize it every week when we do NFL. And there's like 2 ways to look at a game from a betting standpoint. Even if you're a casual bettor, and I've heard this start to like seep into some. I've listened to some podcasts this morning, try to get like a feel for like all the different stuff that's out there. How is everybody else talking about betting versus how we talk about betting? And you start to actually hear this a little bit more than you used to, which I think is good, because it's just like there are 2 fun conversations to have with a game, right? The fun conversation that I think everyone is used to when you listen to betting content, or you listen to sports talk radio, or you watch ESPN or whatever, is what do you think is going to happen in the game? Like matchups, X's and O type stuff. Oh, I think this guy's going to have a huge game. This guy's not going to have a huge game. That coach is really good. That coach is not very good. That's like an on the field. What do you think is going to happen? Score prediction, whatever. That's most content. And then what you start to hear more from mainstream betting content, a little bit more, and a lot more would be great, and we try to do a lot on this show, has nothing to do with what's going to happen in the game. It's entirely about, put it this way, did I bet Lions 6.5 and 7 because I thought they were going to win the game? I don't know if I have a clue what's going to happen in the game, but I know that number's not going to be there much longer, and I know that number's going to move, and I know it's going to be less, and if I think it's going to go down, I think it's going to go down quickly, then I want to make that bet. If Travis Kelce doesn't play, I was like, how big of a deal is that, especially against the Lions, and kind of what you expect how the game to play out? What do you think Kansas City is going to do on offense if it's no Kelce?
Well, I mean, they're not going to be the same offense without Travis Kelce. But we said the same thing last year when they lost Tyreek Hill at this time, that they'll never be the same. And they went out and scored 42 points in the opener against Arizona. And there was never a fall-off. They finished the season number 1 offense football. But Kelce's different. He's the go-to guy on third down. He's the guy in the red zone that they go to. When Patrick Mahomes gets outside the pocket, wants to extend plays, the guy that he looks for more than anybody else is Travis Kelce. They have such a unique chemistry that they literally can't describe what it is that they do and how they do it. I've listened to them talk about it over and over. I think it would be a tremendous loss. And then you go, okay, how long is the loss for? Like, when is he ready? And is it one of those things that could linger? Because he is a true difference maker in that offense.
Baldy, if in fact Travis Kelce does not play on Thursday night, from your film study, from everyone in the league that you talk to, your own opinions that are formed, what player do you think is most likely to step up the most in the absence of the great Travis Kelce for the Chiefs offense?
I probably would say Jet McKinnon at this point, because I think they'll lean more on the short passing game. And Jet McKinnon is just a great receiver out of the backfield. He's a dynamic player. Whether he starts with Isaiah Pacheco or he comes off the bench, I just think he'll get a lot of targets. Probably some of the targets that would normally go to Kelce. They'll spread Detroit out, try to get him matched up against a rookie linebacker and Jack Campbell or other guys, Malcolm Rodriguez, or Alex Anzalone, get him matched up with linebackers, and Mahomes will take those matchups, I would think, most of the time. I feel like a guy like Jet McKinnon could really pick things up with the loss of Kelce.
Tom Brady Appreciation Day, whatever the hell they're calling it, as the Patriots host the reigning defending NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. And over the course of the last week or so, we've seen some money come in on the New England Patriots. Now at BetMGM, the Eagles sit as 4-point road favorites total in the game, sitting right now at 45, but there are some 3.5s on the board as well. What do you think we see on Sunday with Philly and New England, especially with Bill O'Brien now calling the plays and pulling the strings on this Patriots offense?
Well, Bill O'Brien's a good play caller, but it's tough to call plays when you have problems on the offensive line, and they have problems on the offensive line, and that's never a good thing when you're getting ready to play the Eagles. The one thing the Eagles can do is they can get after the quarterback. They're bigger inside now. I think adding Carter, Jordan Davis, it's the next step, and so I think when you look at that, that's a mismatch. Normally in this spot. And I know you, Nick, you probably like the Patriots plus the points here. Normally in this spot, I would sit here and say I'd like the Patriots, but I'm concerned about the offensive line. I really am. I think that's going to be a problem. Here's the other equation. It's easier to play the Eagles in week 1 than it is in week 4. And the reason I say that is that's a hard offense to prepare for. But Bill Belichick has had time. They've been preparing for that the entire summer. So that gives them a little bit of an advantage. But my biggest concern, and that would lead me to take the points, but I'm going to stay away. But if I had to pick it, I'd probably take the Eagles in large part because I don't believe in the New England offensive front.
Pete, one of the bigger totals in a game on Sunday, actually the biggest total on Sunday, is a really, really interesting matchup between Miami and the Chargers. And, obviously 2 teams, ton of playoff aspirations, maybe Super Bowl aspirations, Justin Herbert and Tua, 2 interesting coaching staffs, 2 new coordinators, right? Kellen Moore for the Chargers. So it'll be on one side of the ball, kind of like something we've seen before. On the other side of the ball, Kellen Moore offense versus Vic Fangio defense. I don't think we really know what that's going to look like or who's going to win, at least early in the season. Chargers 3-point favorite, total very high, 51. What are some of your expectations? New coordinators, really high hopes, I think, for both those teams.
Yeah, I think Vic Fangio is one of the best, if not the best, defensive coordinator in the league. Now, Kellen Moore is a good coach, but he's not the equivalent of Vic Fangio, so I think that gives Miami an edge. The problem is the other side of the ball. Remember when Tua went there last year? They went there, they lost to San Francisco, stayed out west, then played the Chargers, and they took away all his little read option passing lanes. So how will Mike McDaniel adjust to that? That's what I want to see. Because this Charger defense will be better than the one he faced last year. Bosa's healthy again. The guys it's a much healthier team. They couldn't stop the run last year. I think they'll be better against the run. So I want to see how they adjust offensively as much as anything to what they did to them last year. Because what they did is, those little quick throws that he makes, they took him away, and they dared him to do other stuff, and he had problems doing it. So it's a big game for Tua from a proving standpoint to go out there and try and win that game.
I think the key for me in this game, and the Colts are going to be able to score. If the Colts can score, then the over is way in play here, and the Colts being really competitive is in play. So it's just a play against Jacksonville's defense, preventing them from winning this game by margin. Colts haven't bet it yet, absolutely going to bet it, and might bet them to win the game also.
I would encourage people to check out Albert Breer, longtime NFL insider who works for our friends at Sports Illustrated now, has a great column that I read. I don't know if he posted it today or yesterday, but basically about how Shane Steichen is building this Indianapolis Colts offense. And we've alluded to this over the last couple of weeks on the show, so it's not like this is breaking news or anything. But Steichen has literally created an offense, like Island of Dr. Moreau type offense here, the Dr. Frankenstein style offense, created from all these mismatched parts, right? It's basically going to be Anthony Richardson run game is going to be the centerpiece of this offense. And we don't know how much Deion Jackson we're going to see, how much Evan Hull we're going to see, how much they're even going to throw the ball. And when they do throw the ball, is it going to be down the field to Alec Pierce? Is it going to be Josh Downs? Is it going to be Michael Pittman? I don't think any of us know, but I think it's really going to take the Jaguars by surprise a little bit, Ken. And you mentioned week 1, right? What are we going to see from the Jaguars defense here? I'd argue that week 1 is the worst week to play this Indianapolis Colts offense because no one has seen it yet. And maybe by week 8, people, or maybe even by week 3, defensive coordinators will say, okay, we'll just do this and we'll stop your offense. That's beyond my pay grade, right? But I think in week 1, I think it gets us over the total for sure. And I'm with, I don't know how you lay this many points with the Jaguars. I think I'll bet the Colts on to win the game also. I think I'll play into the volatility here. And I know the running joke is we're not great at totals. This is my favorite total bet of the week. I think I said it a couple times off air today also. Yeah.
Favorite total bet. That's dangerous. Yeah.
But it could be 3-0 final score. I really like it right now. As of now at 45, I like this over a lot.